And I also don't know if I want to raise my children here in the Western world, nightclubs, adult industry, everything like that.
You do have plans, inshallah, to get married?
So this question have been asked me a lot.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
What are your thoughts on sort of alcohol, intoxicants, and the nightclub culture in the West?
You don't even have to be a Muslim to see that it's not good,
Yes.
you know, because I experienced it myself as well. I grew up, and a lot of young people here in the West are growing up where it's considered weird if you're not doing those things. You know, it's considered weird if you're not partying, if you're not joining them when they're drinking or talking to girls or this and that. And of course, I had a lot of bad habits. I got influenced by all of these things that are normal here. But when digging more into self-development and looking at videos and podcasts of entrepreneurs, they also say it's a waste of time. You know, it's like it's short-term pleasure. Short-term pleasure will not bring you any further. But especially at a young age, when you don't want to participate in all of those things, then people find it weird. And so I think we can talk about it hours about what is bad, what is wrong with this and that. But personally, when looking at it, I already found a lot of things normal for myself. I built better habits. I tried to do better things, but it felt very lonely. And all of these entrepreneurs, he has this routine, that entrepreneur has that routine. But when digging more into Islam, I found a community where it's not weird. You know, if you don't drink, if you don't do this, it's normal. And as a Muslim, we wake up early for Fajr, for the first prayer. So slowly from there, I also saw that it wasn't not only those bad things, nightclubs, adult industry, everything like that is not only bad on personal level, but also on the economic level. You know, it's bad for society anyway.
Even as a Muslim growing up, I went to a school in the UK, and people in school were going into alcohol, and everybody was doing that, and they would question me of why I was not doing that or why I didn't want to. Even some Muslims could go down that path to rebel, and I was like the black sheep that didn't. And it was more fear for me than anything else. I was just fearful of, what is this going to do to me? I've been told as a child not to do this. I don't want to engage. But you also have that feeling of, well, I'm now left out. I'm the one that's like not doing it. But alhamdulillah, I never went down that road, and I'm so glad I didn't. But not a lot of people have that fear. A lot of people do just conform and want to be part of that. And I think now in this day and age, I'm a mum of 2 girls, and as Muslim parents, you have to be vigilant because it's quite a scary time. It was scary for me back then, so I don't know how bad it is now. Well, I do know how bad it is now. It's really bad now. You know, trying to bring up your kids. So that's why I sort of created a Muslim fellowship, me and my husband, to help other Muslim parents sort of guide their kids into an Islamic culture rather than a non-Islamic culture. I know you don't have sort of children yet, but if you were to sort of have children, do you have a view of how you would bring them up? What schooling system? You know, how would you keep them away from all the haram that's out there just now?
Yeah, so it's a good question, and I don't know specifically yet how I would love to do that. Yeah. But I know that a lot of parents are making a mistake by trying to teach their children with words rather than examples. Yeah. So I think when you teach your children with examples and showing why some things are that way or whatever, then it makes a lot of more sense, you know, because we're trying to say to our children, like, don't go to the party, don't go to the club, it's really bad. And then that's it. But then the children are like, okay, but why? They're having fun. It seems nice. I want to do it. You have to give more context to it, I think. And we're not doing this without a reason, you know, there is a really logical way of why we're not drinking alcohol, why we're not partying and all of those things. So I think that is very important. And I also don't know if I want to raise my children here in the Western world or that I maybe would love to move to an Arabic Islamic country. I don't know. It's No.
No, that's a thought that we have as well. It's obviously easier said than done to move, but you know, inshallah, that is the plan that I would love for my kids to grow up in Islamic countries so that it is normal. People need to be aware, like you said, parents need to be aware. and lead by example. 100%. You're right. Obviously, you're still quite young, and I'm sure you do have plans, inshallah, to get married in the future, right?
So this question have been asked me a lot since my
Yeah.
last video in the comments, and people are going crazy. But yeah, I don't know. Like, first of all, having a family, kids, a wife, everything like that. This is one of my biggest goals in life. I have a lot of goals, but I think this goal is one of the biggest goals in my life. I want to take it very serious. I want to learn every insight of being a good husband, being a good dad, everything like that. But I have to look at where I'm standing right now in my life. I'm very young. I'm really new to the religion, and right now I'm just preparing myself. And I mean, what I mean is, like, in a financial way, intellectual way, spiritual way. I'm learning a lot about the religion still. So I don't want to rush the process. And right now, I want to set the fundamentals in my business, because it takes a lot of time for me to build my business right now. But later on, I would love to put some steps back and more focus on my family, so one step at a time. And also, by the way, what is important to say is that I choose to be a little bit more in the picture right now with my channel, with my message, everything like that. But I don't want my wife, my kids, or whatever to be involved in that. I would love to keep my private life private. And I would love to talk about everything in marriage in general, but not my personal things. I would love to keep that private. So even though when I start doing more of that, or even if I was married already, I don't think I would prefer speaking about that or talking about that.